Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. This is going to be more or less a Bitcoin centric video. It was not planned that way, but you'll kind of get why this is kind of all happening as I continue to read through the stories. To start things off, the CEO of Blockchain recently appeared in an interview to discuss the current state of the cryptocurrency industry, highlighting institutional interest as the primary talking point. In a Bloomberg interview conducted on the 20th of July, Peter Smith, who is the CEO of the popular crypto infrastructure firm Blockchain, commented on Bitcoin's most recent run-up. When asked if the move past $6,800 and $7,000 resistance levels was the beginning of something longer term, Smith said, and I do quote, "I think over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of really rapid increases and really rapid decreases. Then a sort of slow consolidation of the market. I think we are seeing another slow consolidation in the market, and we are likely to see a sort of moderate or positive price consolidation over the next quarter," end quote. In other words, the CEO noted that Bitcoin may begin to see a gradual increase over the next few months, possibly indicating that he sees volatility decreasing in this industry. Speaking more on his prediction, Smith cited reasons of higher levels of regulatory clarity, which was brought about by the countless developments made over the past year as Bitcoin hit the mainstream. Additionally, the CEO of Blockchain also brought attention to the fact that the institutional order flow has begun to increase, while retail investment and interest is starting to die down. He later elaborated on the retail versus institutional comment, stating, I once again quote, "I think right now you are seeing a pretty slow retail market, and historically the market has been led by retail. You are seeing a pretty big uptick in the institutional market, and that's a lot of the reason why Bitcoin is outperforming," end quote. Bottom line is, the people, remember we were talking about a couple of months ago, even weeks, we were talking about people being shaken out of the market, and how I said, I'm pretty sure that the market is no longer for us. I didn't mean that we, literally cannot enter the market ourselves anymore, but everything is just based towards institutional investors. Someone made sure along the way to shake out every single normal Jane and Joe who had a couple of bucks in their pocket. And now it seems that I was reading about the differences in the stock market and stuff like that. And they were saying how it wasn't in this article, but they were saying how crypto is slowly becoming like the stock market. And that there was a time where the stock market was actually supposed to be for everyday normal people. They told you if you put your money into the stock market, you could potentially have gains. By the time you ended up retiring, you'd be pretty well off. But as the years went on, they made sure to produce news stories and other things like that to scare people out of the market. I'm sure I've had this in my life. I don't know if you guys have. I said before, I grew up in the States. I don't live in the States anymore. But growing up, I had a lot of older people who were in my family or older generations tell me not to get into the stock market because it was a scam. Don't get into it. Something's wrong with it. This is because a lot of them had put their money into the stock market. The prices fell, they lost confidence in it, and this is kind of what's happening to the cryptocurrency market. There are a lot of people who got into the cryptocurrency market because they heard that they could make money. Prices started falling, they've been shaken out of the market, and now it is kind of just geared towards the bigger players. So it's a bit of a shame that this has to happen in every single kind of market that we have, but this is just one of the things that are out there right now where they're talking about big changes ahead for the price of Bitcoin and how it is, at least in my view, I'm pretty sure you've seen it as I've been reading through the other articles as well, that this entire market is now just for the rich of the rich. This is why I always tell you to always do your own research, because it's going to be, I don't know how many of you have seen, there's like something going around, and it's like, this guy sold his Apple stock on this date, and if you had kept it up to this point, it would be worth $114 million. This is pretty much what's happening with a lot of the people, the same exact people. If you read old articles online about people who got into Bitcoin relatively early, and one of the most famous ones, not even the pizza guy, it was someone sold, they were on Reddit saying that they had 10,000 Bitcoin, and I think the price had just gotten to like $2 or $3, and they were like, man, the price is way too hot. This has to be a bubble. I'm completely getting out of it. And they sold it, and like a couple years later, the guy like rewrote. He was like, yeah, I thought it was a bubble, and I completely got out of it because, I lost confidence in the market. Point is, you're going to be hearing a lot more stuff like this in the future. So Coinbase is in the news. I think they're in the news just about every single day now. Coinbase Exchange has recently concluded that no insider trading of Bitcoin Cash took place in December of 2017. This is from a report by Fortune on the 24th of July. Anonymous sources close to Coinbase told Fortune that the exchange and wallet service provider conducted a company-wide meeting last week to discuss the results of an internal investigation. A Coinbase spokesperson revealed to Fortune that the independent internal investigation has been completed and the company is determined to take no disciplinary action following a months-long probe by two national law firms. A Coinbase representative told Fortune, and I do quote, "We would not hesitate to terminate an employee or contractor and or take appropriate legal action if evidence showed our policies were violated. We can report that the voluntary independent internal investigation has come to a close and we have determined to take no disciplinary action," end quote. Coinbase initially decided not to support the coin, but reversed the decision and announced that Bitcoin Cash would be listed on the platform by January 1st. Speculation over insider trading began on December 19th, when Coinbase listed Bitcoin Cash on its platform almost a month ahead of schedule, as the Bitcoin Cash price surged over $3,000. For those who were not here for this glorious event, when Bitcoin first forked and Bitcoin Cash first was birthed, people realized very quick. I had a couple of videos on it. We were trying to figure out exactly what SegWit was, what Bitcoin Cash was, and it was this whole big thing floating around. The fork happened. People were like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to go buy some Bitcoin Cash. And if people realized that if you were already holding Bitcoin, you were going to get Bitcoin Cash for free. The problem is that people quickly realized right after is that the people holding Bitcoin would also get Bitcoin Cash for free. And therefore, with Coinbase holding everyone's Bitcoin, people were like, oh, they probably have our Bitcoin Cash. People started contacting Coinbase saying, hey, I'm pretty sure you have my Bitcoin Cash. Can I please have it? Coinbase said, we are not going to support this coin. This is a fork. This is a so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And that's when the lawsuit started. I think they had about 10 lawsuits against them. And then out of nowhere, one day, Coinbase said, oh, you know what? This is your money. We believe in you. We believe in, customer service. And that's when they said they were going to support it by January 1st. Everyone else said, okay, that's great. That's fine. Then they added it onto their website without actually telling anyone. And, there was a huge surge. Oh my gosh, there's a brand new coin on Coinbase. This is absolutely amazing. Cannot wait to get my hands on this. And the price started going up. The price actually went up so far. I think it actually hit 10,000 on their website before actually crashing their website and crashing their entire infrastructure. I think they had to not shut down, but they were down for a couple of hours as they tried to get things back together. About a week and a half later, people were looking through everything and, looking through the price trends. And they noticed right about a day and a half before they actually listed it onto their website, for some reason, after having a stagnant price the entire year, the price of Bitcoin Cash had started to go up. And a couple hours before they actually listed it on their website, this is when the price literally spiked. People realized it was actually on their website and it spiked even more. So this is kind of where this is a bit of the backstory, if you will, to the entire Coinbase thing. And this is why a lot of people are still believing that they're not adding other coins, or exactly, a couple days ago when they had the entire thing where they said they were going to add 5 new coins. Now you understand why they are, we could possibly maybe in the future potentially add 5 coins. We're not going to tell you what coins we're going to add, but these could be the coins. Now it makes a bit more sense because people in the comment section were like, what's wrong with them? Why would you not just say you're going to add them? This is why they make sure now to say that they could possibly one day add a couple of things. Even when they said that they were going to be adding support for ERC20 tokens, they didn't say which ERC20 tokens. They said they may be adding 5 coins. They didn't say if the coins would officially be added. This is kind of the backdrop. Now you get why, you get the method to the madness, as it were. The event triggered accusations that Coinbase employees engaged in insider trading, with Twitter users saying that the exchange clearly leaked news over the launch of Bitcoin Cash. The day Bitcoin Cash was launched on the platform, senior manager Brian Armstrong published a blog post stating that Coinbase employees are held to strict standards regarding insider trading. Armstrong said that the company would conduct an internal investigation over the allegations associated with the Bitcoin Cash price surge. What I think ended up happening is, if the people in Coinbase were officially told, hey, we're going to list this, don't do anything. If any money comes out of your pockets, we'll know that it's from you. We'll see we'll see your bank accounts. We'll see blah, 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 whatever. We'll know that it was you. It's incredibly easy. I don't know if you guys have watched any movies about insider trading. I love any type of like financial movie. I think they're absolutely fascinating. You can simply just tell someone else. You can, if you know in October that you're going to list something in December, you can start wiring your friend money, tell them the day that it's supposed to happen, and have them pay on your behalf. Not saying that this is exactly what happened. I think I watched too many movies. Point is, they say that there was no fraud conducted. I assume that they did this to kind of bring back confidence in them over the entire allegation, what have you. I assume in the future they're going to try and add coins a bit simpler and easier. The CEO of Coinbase has noted a couple times on CNBC and ABC and blah, 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 that he is, that they're trying desperately to add new coins, but they're waiting for the SEC's approval. Because I'm pretty sure, I read something a day or two ago, and there was also a video about it, that Coinbase is actually losing their footing in the market because they can't add anything. They're constantly waiting for the SEC while every other exchange is slowly, adding 15 other coins at a time, while Coinbase could potentially add one. Okay, that's enough with Coinbase. So I saw a lot of people talking about this in the comment section yesterday, and we're going to talk about it right now. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has stated that they require more time to consider 5 Bitcoin ETF approvals. All the proposals in question were submitted by Direxion Investments. Bitcoin's price continues to grow today, and amid speculation that an exchange-traded fund for the digital asset is coming soon, last month, the SEC received an ETF application from the CBOE Global Markets. The company is the same that owns the Chicago Board Options Exchange, one of the first to launch Bitcoin futures contracts late last year. Thanks to their compliance with earlier recommendations from the SEC, along with partnerships they've forged to help deliver an ETF, the CBOE Global Markets effort is thought to be one of the most likely to be approved first. The decision is expected in August. However, the ETF proposal by CBOE Global Markets is just one of many submitted to the SEC. According to the document published today in the Federal Register, the SEC needs more time to consider 5 Bitcoin exchange-traded funds proposed by Direxion Investments. These funds were submitted in January of 2018. The document published today states that the decision will be postponed for the Direxion ETF proposals is September 21st. It also reads, and I do quote, "The Commission finds it appropriate to designate a longer period within which to issue an order approving or disapproving the proposed rule change so that it has significant time to consider this proposed rule change." End quote. Does that make sense to you? It's just more government mumbo jumbo. Notably absent from the document published today was mention of the proposal submitted by the CBOE Global Markets. However, some in the cryptocurrency space believe that the SEC will similarly postpone this proposal closer to the proposed date of August 10th. So where do I even start on this? I had it in my head and I was completely gone. So first thing, people were saying that they thought the CBOE, the one that you guys sent emails to and wrote on their wall to, the SEC, was that this is the one that was postponed. It was the actual other 5 from, I hope I'm saying that correct, Direxion. It looks like Direxion. I don't know how else I would actually pronounce that. These are the ones that have been postponed. As of now, it appears that the CBOE one is still on track for August 10th. I've seen people talking, muttering that it could now be postponed to August 21st, as well as September 21st. I have not seen any official news on that, but I have seen people whispering it. As of now, it appears that we still are on track for August 10th. What I think is happening is that the fact that this is postponed, I think it possibly is a good signal that this one could be approved, simply because they're trying not to have them too close together. I think CBOE, for some reason, I don't know if they're in cahoots with the SEC or whatever the case might be, but I think they have priority. They were the first people to get the futures, so I think they may be the first to also get the ETF approval, and it could be the reason why this one was pushed back, in order to not have them too close, because you don't, if this gets approved, there's going to be an avalanche of letters that are going to be flowing to the SEC asking them to please approve our Bitcoin ETF as well. So I think they're trying to separate them a bit. Also, in my mind, is that if this does get pushed back to August 21st, what this could mean is you may have noticed, I would have thought it was haphazard if it was just one or two things, but a lot of things you may have noticed have been pushed back to September. India's decision, Congress talking about crypto. What was the other thing that happened? The G20 countries talking about it, the European Parliament. For some reason, everything is being pushed back to September. I don't know what's going to happen in September. I can't imagine why September is so heavily significant. It's not even really the end of Q3, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But if this is pushed back to August 21st and this is already pushed back to September 21st, this could be, them unloading all the positive news in September. Maybe they were told by the big wigs who have gotten into cryptocurrencies, the bankers and stuff like that. Wait till September. This is a good time for the market to kind of go back up, which is typically the time when the stock market ends up going back up. I don't know. It's all speculation in my head, but I'm sure like I said, if one of the events was pushed back to September, I get it. When you push 5 ETFs at the same exact time this September, when the European Parliament does it, when the G20 countries does it, when the US still hasn't given us proper, the SEC's, when it comes to certain coins as well, which we're probably also going to get in September, and this may also be pushed back. You kind of get what I'm saying. It's all kind of seemingly working together. Why September is so significant and not July that we had been told by all of these other corporations and companies and countries and governments before, who knows, but this is kind of where it is. So at the moment, the important one, the one that we actually are waiting for, the CBOE, is still slated, at least at the moment, for August 10th, which thank goodness is not that far away. I want to get it over with. I hope they say yes. And this could be the reason why the market is pushing itself up. Next up, like I said, this is going to be a Bitcoin-centric video simply because of everything that's floating out there seems to be exclusively around Bitcoin. Bitcoin's current price rally, which has seen it break past the $8,000 mark for the first time since May, has heightened a lot of market watchers' expectations. Some analysts are predicting a run towards the $10,000 mark, while traders are viewing it as an early sign of a revival for virtual currencies. In the past fortnight, there has been strong bullish signals for Bitcoin with the price surging by over 20% and increasing the currency's dominance index as it outperforms other cryptocurrencies. We spoke about that yesterday. I think it was 46% yesterday. Now today it is 47%. I think they're trying to make a push for a Bitcoin dominance of 50%. The surge has been viewed as a possible sign of a rebound for cryptocurrencies. Speaking to Express.co.uk, Jordan Hiscott, chief trader at the UK-based Iondo Markets, suggested that the negative news around cryptocurrencies has already peaked and will likely die down. He also added that there was room for Bitcoin's price to reach 9,200 in the very near term as long as it trades above 7,300, saying, and I do quote, "In my view, Bitcoin could not sustain a move below 5,800 and then maintain a range between 6,200 and 6,900 before most recently moving up the $7,300 in today's range. The next point will be key. As long as we can maintain above 7,300, I think there is room to push as high as 9,200 in the very near term." End quote. Hiscott's optimism isn't an isolated sentiment. Other pundits have also predicted a strong performance that will see an extended run not only for Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies in general. Matthew Newton, an analyst at global investment platform eToro, has pointed to a break in past price patterns and even mentioned the $10,000 mark for Bitcoin as something that is within reach. I'm not going to read what he said. So as of now, we were actually at 3,300. Please don't ever go that low. 8,300 just a couple of hours ago. I'm pretty sure, it's just cooling off. 9,200 is now the number that the market is looking for. A lot of it has been speculating that we're going to hit 10,000. I am going to assume, I do not have a crystal ball, but what it seems like is going to happen as we have, today's the 25th. Let's say we have about 2 weeks until we get possible approval of the Bitcoin ETF. I'm going to assume that we're going to hit around 9,400, possibly. By August 7th or 8th, You guys have seen before when we are expecting good news, even if there's some type of like meeting or something that's ended up happening, the market ends up going up a tiny bit as everyone is expecting this huge run to end up happening. If we end up hitting 93, 9400, a couple days before the SEC possibly gives approval, and on the 10th, if the stars align and we actually get approval for this Bitcoin ETF, I think we'll probably hit 15,000 that same exact week. And I think it'll be a very nice end of summer for everyone. Still trying not to hold my breath. I'm really just trying to, take the market for what it is. I'm not trying to be too overly optimistic and or pessimistic when it comes to any of the prices. But you guys, have surely noticed the price of Bitcoin over the last couple of days has been slowly inching its way forward. So this is, to kind of tie everything together. We had a lot of news last week and the week before and even the week before about Ethereum and how great Ethereum was, because we had news that Raiden is actually still coming sometime at the end of August, I believe. And now the news has completely shifted to the number one coin, Bitcoin, because I think everyone is trying to I don't want to say hype it up, but they're trying to make sure that it is dominant in the news so that other people are taking notice of the price and will potentially end up FOMOing in. I'm sure a lot of people have been, this, not to say that it's a bad time to buy in. No one knows what the market's going to do. A lot of people have been saying that this is a bull trap. No one knows what's going to happen in any market. Don't let anyone tell you that their analysts have been telling them so-and-so and this is going to happen, because I've seen a lot of people in the comment section below talking about we would never hit 8,000. We were going down to 3,000 before we even got above 7,700. No one knows what's going to happen at all. The point is, if you've been buying in, it might not be a bad move. No one knows what's going to happen in the market. But if we do end up getting this ETF, especially after hundreds of people have been sending messages to the SEC, we could be in for one of the greatest moments in our crypto careers thus far. Last up, to tie this all together, this was also in the news. Another symbol of a bull. I'm sure you have noticed them kind of all over the place, and every single thing or the news is just mainly about Bitcoin right now. This is about Bitcoin futures. It seems like the institutional investors at Wall Street have also succumbed to FOMO. That is relating to the current Bitcoin rally. The king of crypto has been increasing steadily from Friday, the 13th of July, when it was valued at $6,200. Bitcoin has since gradually gained 34% to current levels of $8,300, more or less. This impressive rally in almost 2 weeks is the reason two Wall Street institutional investors have completed the first ever exchange of their positions in the CME's Bitcoin futures market for an equivalent amount of the physical Bitcoin asset in an EFP transaction. According to CCN, the CME EFP Bitcoin transaction was facilitated by ED&F Man Capital Markets, which is a registered futures commission merchant, and ITBIT, an institutional grade cryptocurrency exchange. According to the CME, my gosh, these letters, CME Group website, EFPs are defined as follows, and I do quote, an exchange for physical is a particular type of exchange for related position, transaction, and may be executed in any CME equity index future in accordance with Rule 538 and any associated advisories. Yeah, of course, that's what it is, end quote. The EFPs are then used by traders as follows. EFP transaction also allow investors to convert between futures and either ETFs or baskets of the underlying index constituent stocks without exposure to intraday market execution. This not only allows investors to optimize their holdings to meet their leverage, capital, tax, and liquidity needs, but to also differentiate between the tool they use for trading and how they want to hold their exposure. And end quote. I'm not reading the rest of that. The point is that there was a move from people holding futures to them trying to hold physical Bitcoin. I don't have the article in this video. It was maybe like half a paragraph that was kind of significant. It's pretty much talking about there is a move right now happening not only within the futures market, but also other people who are or have been dealing with Bitcoin in non-physical ways, that they're trying to get their hand on physical Bitcoin because they see more of it's a bit more advantageous for them to hold physical Bitcoin. We will see how this kind of all plays out. Apparently there's been a huge move, especially from Coinbase as well, and a lot of the other platforms in other countries who have been noting that they have been open or are geared up for institutional investors have been saying that every single day that they've been actually getting millions of dollars being pushed into the market and over the counter trading so that it is not going through exchanges. Because I think if we had seen, $50 million buy orders for Bitcoin over the last 3 weeks, I think the market would have definitely responded. But they're happening over the counter, which is still a good indication because these people are still trying to hold physical Bitcoin. But let's see exactly what's going on. Like I said, this is a Bitcoin heavy video because we are only 2 weeks away, more or less from the Bitcoin ETF. Let's see exactly where this takes us. Please don't get your hopes up. I do not want to, putting the air into that balloon and then it kind of gets shot down. I am optimistically neutral. I'll put it that way. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening. Wherever you are, wherever you might be, hope you guys are having a great time. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. And I will talk to you all soon. See you.